As we look at international marketing, there are some great lessons to be learned from benihana. And usually we look at American businesses going into foreign markets, but this is an example of a foreign business coming into the U.S. market, which makes it rather unique. So the story of benihana really begins with Rocky Aoki, who was born in Tokyo in 1938, and he passed away in 2008. He started a rock and roll band called Rowdy Sounds with his friends, and he explained that I played bass, but I tell you why I changed to wrestling, no good on tempo. So as he noted, he became a wrestler, and he attended Keio University in Japan. He competed in track and field, karate, and wrestling, and he was expelled eventually for fighting while he was there. But his wrestling career took off, and he qualified as a wrestler for the 1960 Olympics in Rome, although he didn't compete. And he did accept a wrestling scholarship to C.W. Post in Long Island, New York. So as he came to the United States, he won the United States flyweight title in 62, 63, and 64. And he is actually inducted into the U.S. National Wrestling Hall of Fame in 1995. So an amazing career there as a wrestler. But he fell in love with America while he lived in New York, and he decided to stay. So living in New York, he was studying management at New York City Community College. And he sold ice cream in Harlem to help pay his bills. And he said he worked 7 days a week. He was mugged 3 times, and he was stabbed twice. But he persisted, and he was able to save $10,000 from his ice cream sales. And he opened his first restaurant in Manhattan in 1964, and it had just 4 tables. And he talks about all this in his book, Mr. Benihana, which is his life story. And anyway, a couple of the lessons we learned from him starting benihana after that first restaurant. He really understood American consumers. So part of marketing your product in a foreign country, of course, is how you design that product and what it is. And he said, I'm going to change the way Americans think about Japanese food. So this was really his marketing strategy. And he talked about bringing teppanyaki or hibachi cooking to the United States. And he said the rule was no slippery or slimy things. So we understood that Japanese food was often perceived as slippery and slimy. And he said, the minute I forgot I was Japanese, the success began. So even though he's bringing Japanese food over, he knew it had to appeal to American consumers. Dining became an experience in his restaurant, and food preparation was part of the experience. Most of you have probably been to benihana or some other similar type restaurant, but he was the one who really brought that to America. He said, I'm not in the restaurant business. I'm in show business. So as they sit there at the table and there is fire as they prepare the food and they're throwing the knives in the air and doing tricks, this all came from Rocky. And he trained his chefs at a special school in Tokyo, and their training also included unique aspects of U.S. cities and cultures and language. So they spend a lot of their time focusing on HR things so these chefs who came over could understand the local people and their culture and appeal to them. Also, the seating arrangements was fascinating. So even from an operational perspective, really understood strategy. And he basically decided there would be no kitchen. We'll prepare the food in front of the diners right at their tables. And this allowed them to maximize seating. And they only had full tables. So if people came in and it wasn't enough to fill up a table, they waited at the waiting area until more people came in, and he sat strangers together so he could fill up his tables and fully utilize his space and his tables. The lighting was always dim, and that worked well with the ambiance he was trying to create. And as they finished cooking, by the way, they would even lower the lights, which was kind of a subtle signal to get up and leave so we could fill up the table with somebody else. And the only thing on the dessert menu was sherbet. And as they served that, they would put it right next to the hot stove they'd just been cooking on. So it would start to melt quickly, which again motivated people who were done eating to eat it quickly and leave so he could again bring more people in and cycle that table one more time. So he maximized his space tremendously by taking this approach. So really great lessons from Rocky. Hopefully you've had a chance to experience one of the restaurants from benihana or a similar operation. If not, go and try it out. It's great.